And today we are doing our final revision for the year for our subject mathematical literacy. I am so excited that girls and boys, we've all made it up until this far. Good day, grade 12 learners. My name is Nikki Wezulu, and welcome to today's exciting session of the final paper 2 revision. This lesson is brought to you by the Gauteng Department of Education in collaboration with the Saibono Discovery Center. My name is Nikki Wezulu. Like I said, we are going to be revising paper 2 this afternoon. And today's lesson is different in a way that you will be able to interact with us from your classes. So our WhatsApp line number will be reflecting on the screens. If you have any question that you would like to pose, please, you are more than welcome to send us a WhatsApp message and ask whatever question you want to ask. Girls and boys, you can only send a text message or a picture. Please do not call us, do not video call us, only send WhatsApp messages and you will be attended to. Now, I am not alone today in the studio. I will be with my colleague, Mr. Peter Kekana, that will also be assisting in answering some of your questions in the WhatsApp group line. The structure of the paper that you are going to be writing on Monday, it is as follows. So it is a mathematical literacy paper. Make sure that you have the correct question paper. It is a paper 2. It is also for 3 hours and out of 150 marks. And the question paper that you'll be writing on Monday will also be having 4 or 5 questions. This is the topics and their weightings for paper 2. So this weekend, as you are preparing for paper 2, these are the only topics that you will be preparing. The maps, plans, and other representations of the physical world. You will also be preparing the topic of measurement. And just like in paper 1, the section of probability will also be assessed on your paper 2. And then with paper 2, you can also expect to see your growth charts. The growth charts were there in paper 1 today. And then even on Monday, you can also expect to see the growth charts. This is how your question paper will be structured. On Monday, your question 1 will have 30 marks plus minus 5 variance. So it can be more than 30, it can be less than 30, it can be exactly 30 marks. And then again, the same as paper 1, the questions for paper 1 in the question 1, paper 2, you are going to get knowledge questions. Like I said yesterday, the knowledge questions are the easy questions. You don't have to be stretching your head about the question 1 type of questions. The example of your knowledge questions, they can give you a scale, let's say a number scale, and then they ask you to identify the type of scale that is given. So you must be able to say that it is a number scale. Or they can give you a number scale and then they can ask you to explain the meaning of the scale. If maybe the scale was 1:500, then you must know that 1:500 means 1 unit on the map represents 500 units in reality. It is not something that you have to think about. They can give you the radius, to say the radius of a cylinder is 5 centimeters. What is the diameter of that cylinder? You must know that radius, from radius to get the diameter, you multiply by 2. So you will say 5 times 2 to give you 10 units. So those are the types of questions that you must expect in question 1 on Monday. Very easy questions. We are expecting all learners to collect as many marks as possible on question 1. And then for your question 2 will be maps, plans, and other representations of the physical world. That is where you'll be given the different types of scales. You are expected to perform calculations using the scales. You'll be working with the different types of maps like your strip chart, your layout plans, the seating plans, all the maps that you guys have been exposed to since you started this journey of mathematical literacy. So question 2, paper 2, you will see it is such a nice question to work on. So question 1 will be flowing, question 2 you'll still be flowing, and even question 3 you can still try and collect the marks. And then our question 3, it is everything measurement, from your conversions, your calculations of perimeter, area, volume, surface area, everything that has to do with measurement, you must expect to find it under under question 3. Like I said, remember, you must also expect to find the growth charts. So like you're calculating your BMI, you can expect to find that under the section of measurement in question 3. When it comes to your question 4 and question 5, that is integration. By integration, we are talking the mixing of the topics. So it means question 4 and question 5, you will find maps and plans and measurement. All of them will be assessed under one question. And for the section of probability, like paper 1, you can find probability in any of the questions. So don't be surprised if you come across probability in question 1, or you see probability in question 5, or question 4, or question 3, or question 2. It can be integrated amongst all the questions because it is a very small topic. The topics that you must prepare for over this weekend as you are preparing for the maps and plans, it is your scale. Remember, with scale in Mathslit, we have 2 types of scale. Namely, it is your number scale, and then you also have a bar scale. The other name for a number scale, the other name for a bar scale, it is also called a ratio scale. So you must, you could be given a map, and then on a map, there will be a scale that is given. So the examiner can ask you to identify the type of scale that is used on the map. So you should be able to identify that. Is it a number scale or is it a bar scale? How would you know if it is a number scale? If it is a number scale, for example, it will be written as numbers. If it is 1:100, this is an example of a number or a ratio scale. Again, once they've given you the scale, they can ask you to explain the meaning of that particular scale. So when you explain the meaning of the scale, you will tell them that 1 unit on the map represents 100 units in reality. That is how you explain a scale. If maybe the scale is given, it's a bar scale. A bar scale, you'll see it will be given like this. It's in the form of bars. And then here maybe it will be 2.5 kilometers. So if they give you the one like this, then you know that this one, it is what it is. It is the bar scale. So for you to explain a bar scale, you will need a ruler, a proper ruler, guys, not a ruler that you've cut and shared amongst your friends. It must be a proper long visible ruler. So the first step, when you explain a bar scale, you need to take measurement of your bar using a ruler. You measure from here up to here using a ruler, and on your ruler, this point, it must be 0. We don't measure from 1, but we measure from 0. So let's say you took your measurement with your ruler, and then when you end here, you find that it was 3 centimeters. So how do you explain the bar scale then? You will say 3 centimeters on the map represents 5 kilometers in reality. That is how you explain a bar scale. So the way you explain a bar scale and a number scale, it is quite different, because with the number scale, we are very strict when it comes to units, whereas with the bar scale, the units don't matter. You say and you write the units as they are. And then you must also go and look at your layout plans. Remember, a layout plan, it can be a layout plan at a cinema, whereby you are given a plan to showing the seat numbers of the cinema, the screen, where the screen will be positioned, the door, the entrance and the exit. So you must be able to study that layout plan. And then the possible questions that they can ask you, they can tell you, here is Sarah bought her ticket, and a ticket is ticket number so and so, and Sarah is standing at the door. Give Sarah the directions on how to get to her seat. That is where now you need to mention the important landmarks that you see on the plan. If there is a certain row on her left or on her right, you must mention it, and you must mention that Sarah must continue straight, and then on the left she will see this, on the right she will see this, and then when she reaches seat number 5, she must turn left and continue on that row that she's working on. So those are the type of questions that you must expect. Or you can also expect the general direction questions. They can tell you, there is Sarah, she's standing at the door, and her seat number is seat B26. And then they ask, what is the general direction of Sarah's chair from where Sarah is standing? So that is where now you need to use your compass direction. Remember, the general direction is when we use the north, the south, the east, and and the west. As soon as the question says give the general direction, then you know that general, I must refer to my cardinal points. And if this is north, this is east, this becomes what? The northeast, this becomes the southeast, and then this is southwest, and lastly this is your northwest. And then remember, you are in grade 12. You will not always be given a complete compass direction like this, and it will not always be straightforward. So sometimes they'll just give you the arrow facing up and they say this is north. So you must know how to complete it. So normally what we say as the Gauteng learners, we say that we must never ever smoke weed. Then you know that the never is for north, the ever is for east, the smoke is for south, and the weed is for west. So if you know this, even if they can give you the north facing that side, they say this is north, you know that you must never ever smoke weed. And then you are done. You've completed your compass direction. And then your sitting plans, there's different sitting plans that you can work with. A perfect example of a sitting plan, currently as you guys are writing your final examinations, you do not just sit anywhere. You sit according to the sitting plan that is provided by the school. So the fact that you are able to locate your seat, it means you guys know how to interpret the sitting plans. So you can also expect that in Monday's paper. And then all the maps that we've ever spoken about since you started doing the subject of mathematical literacy, your provincial maps, your street maps, your national maps. Remember your street map, it will be showing the different places and the names of the streets. Your provincial map, it will be showing a certain province. Maybe it will be a map of Gauteng. That is a provincial map, and then it will also be showing the neighboring provinces. And then a national map would be a map of South Africa showing all the different provinces of South Africa. That type of a map, we refer to it as a national map. And then on your maps, there will be routes that are given to you. You will have your national roads, and your national roads will always be indicated by the N. So if you have maybe your N1, you know that it indicates that it is a national road. And then sometimes you have your regional roads like your R59. R59 does not mean 59 rands, but rather it is a regional road. So if they say identify the regional road that is used, you will see a regional road by the letter R. And then another type of a road that you will see are your M's, like your M1, your M2. And then what are these M's? These are your metropolitan roads. And you find this mostly in your metro cities like your Johannesburg, Pretoria, Bloemfontein, Cape Town, Durban, and your Gqeberha. So this is where you find your metro roads. So I will write it. It is a metropolitan road. So you can say metro or metropolitan, it's still the same thing. So you will be given maps that shows these different roads, so you must know the meaning of those roads that are provided to you. And then again, when it comes to the directions in a map, when they want you to give someone direction, someone that is moving from one place to the other, make sure that as you give the direction, you mention the important landmarks. If a person is traveling from Pretoria to Durban, mention that this person will be traveling on the N3. And as they're traveling on the N3, if you see cities, if you see Harrismith, you mention Harrismith. If you see Pietermaritzburg, you mention Pietermaritzburg. Everything that is important that is shown on the map, you mention that. And then don't forget to mention your left, your right, your east, your west, your south if it is necessary, because that is how the marks are awarded, for mentioning all the important landmarks. Sometimes they will give you the direction. They will say there is a person, the person is in Pretoria, and then from Pretoria they join the N1 and they drove along the N1, they passed the Vaal, and then after the Vaal there was the toll gate, and then they continue straight, and then where is the person going? So you must follow those directions with your blue pen. You must draw on the map with your blue pen until you get to the destination, and then the destination will give you the correct answer, and it will tell you where the person is actually going. Guys, the floor plans, you must know what is a floor plan. Remember what is a floor plan? it is a view, it is a top view of a building without the roof. You imagine yourself looking over your house, but then without the roof, so that you can see everything. You can see the layout of that particular house. That is a floor plan. And then an elevation plan. An elevation plan, instead of showing the top view of a house, it actually shows the outside part of a house. So that is the difference between a floor plan and an elevation plan. With the floor plan, it shows the top view of a house without the roof. Whereas the elevation plan, it only focuses on the outside part of a house. That's why with the elevation plan, we have the front elevation that will be showing the front of the house. We have the back elevation that will be showing the back of the house. And we also have the side elevations that will be showing the different sides of the house. If your elevation plan has a compass direction, that is when you can use the north elevation, the south elevation, the east and the west elevation. But sometimes the elevation does not have a compass. So if it doesn't have a compass, you cannot be using your north, your east, your south and your west. You can only talk about front, back and the side elevations. And then lastly, under maps and plans, we have your models. Remember, under models, we are talking about packaging, the way in which we pack our boxes and our cans. And then the second part of models, it is the assembling diagram. Remember that topic, that last topic, whereby they will give you a chair that has been assembled, and then they ask you to follow the directions to assemble that particular chair. So you must also know the definitions. They can ask you, what does the word assembling mean or assemble mean? So to assemble is to put together a pieces of an item by following a given set of instructions, because you don't just put it together. There are certain instructions that you must read, you must follow in order for you to successfully put up a piece together. So if they ask you to explain what is an assembly, what is to assemble, you tell them that it is the process of putting an item together by following a given set of instruction. You must also go and revise packaging. They can ask you to explain the meaning of the word packaging. So you must know what is packaging. And then I just mentioned now in the previous slide that you must know your definitions. You must know what is your number scale. You must know what is a route map, because they can give you a map without a heading, and then they will ask you to identify that type of a map that is given. So you must know if it is a street map, or if it's a national map, or it's a provincial map, or an elevation map, or even a strip chart. And then the section of measurement, which is the biggest section in your paper 2, it has conversions. Remember, with conversions, we have metric and imperial conversion. Imperial system. So the metric system, it is the one that we use here in South Africa, like your kilometers, your centimeters, your liters, your kilograms. This is the metric system, and this, you are expected to know these conversions by heart. You need to know this from memory. Your King Henry died miserable death called measles. You are expected to know this. Whereas with the imperial system, it is the system that is used overseas, like in the USA. With this one, you are not expected to know these conversions by heart. The conversion factors will always be given to you. For example, if you have to convert from inches to centimeters, they will give you the conversion factor. If 1 inch is equivalent to so many centimeters. So it is not something that you must know by heart. And then perimeter, girls and boys, you must know your definitions. You must know what is perimeter. That perimeter, it is the total distance around a shape. And then you must know that before you can even start with your calculations of perimeter, your area, your volume, and your surface area, the first thing, you must always make sure that your units are the same. Because if your units are not the same, there is nothing that you can do. So first, you check that your units are the same. If your units are not the same, then you do the proper conversions to make sure that you convert everything to be the same unit. And then thirdly, the formulas will always be given to you. So you substitute into the given formula. Guys, let's not sleep on this section. This is where you can actually collect as many marks as possible. So make sure that you collect the marks. Do not leave any question unanswered. When you are given a formula, you are given a chance to try and grab some marks. So if a formula is given, make sure that you substitute and then you try. And remember, when it comes to radius and diameter, if this is your circle, and then from here to there is your radius, and your radius is 10 centimeters. If this is your circle, and then the line from here up to there, this is your diameter. So if your radius is 10, that means that your diameter will definitely be what? It will be 20 centimeters. So always you will be given the diameter, and when you are given the diameter, you will be expected to find the radius, or vice versa. But you won't write a paper 2 whereby you don't work with the diameter and the radius. This will definitely be in the exam. It can either be as straightforward, or you will have to apply that knowledge when you calculate the volume or the surface area, or even the area of a circle. And what you must also know is that the area of the perimeter of a circle, we call it what? We call it a circumference. That is what we call a perimeter of a circle. And then the last part of measurement, it is the issue of measuring weight. Here on measuring weight, this is where we talk about your BMI. And then like your maps and plans, with measurement, there is also terminology that is involved. So you must know what is area. If you are asked to explain area, you must know. Remember, you have the glossary of terms that you guys have pasted in your classwork books. So tonight or over the weekend, do go through that glossary of terms, especially for the paper 2 topics, and remind yourself, because tomorrow in the exam, the examiner can even ask you what is length. They can ask you what do you understand by circumference. They can ask you what is the metric system, and you tell them that the metric system, it is the system of measurement that is used here in South Africa. And then the exam tips again, when it comes to time, girls and boys, you must know the different time formats. So when you write the time, it can either be presented, when it's presented, it can be presented as digital, or it can also be presented as analog. Digital time, it is that time that shows the digits. It's written like this as numbers. So when it's like this, you know that this is your digital time. And then if it is shown on a clock, the normal clock that we have in our houses, this one, it is the analog time. And then the time format, the way in which we write the time, we can write it in 12-hour format, or we can write it in 24-hour format. The 12-hour format, it uses the values from 1 to 12. Whereas the 24-hour format, it uses the values from 0 to 23. Now, with the 12-hour format, 8 o'clock is 8 o'clock. So, for us to know if it is 8 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock in the evening, we'll use 8 a.m. to denote 8 o'clock in the morning. And then we would use p.m. to denote that this is 8 o'clock in the evening. This is your 12-hour format, because it just works with the numbers from 1 to 12. Whereas your 24-hour format, it works with the numbers from 0 to 23. We know that if it is 00 like this, it means this is 12 when? 12 midnight. And then if it is 12 like this, this is 12 when? 12 midday. And then if it is like this, we know that this is 11 o'clock in the morning. Whereas if it is 23 like this, then this is 11 o'clock in the evening. So go and revise your time, because definitely there will be questions on time. So these are the possible questions that you can expect in paper 1. In question 1 for paper 2 on Monday. So 1.1, they say John wants to make waffles. He found the following recipe on the internet. So here is the waffle that John wants to prepare, and the recipe, the ingredients will make 3 3 waffles. So this information is very, very important. The recipe that they give you, you must check that that recipe is enough to serve how many people, or it can produce how many items. So for this recipe, we will need 3 large eggs. There will be a teaspoon of vanilla. There's half cup of sugar. There's 4 teaspoons of baking powder. There's 60 grams of softened butter for serving. So there's a lot of ingredients, but those are the ingredients for our waffle recipe. So here, let's go to the questions. 1.1.1, convert 2¼ cups of milk to milliliters. So what you need to know is that a quarter, this 1/4, 1/4, it is a quarter, and a quarter is the same as 0.25. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write 2¼ I'm going to write it as, instead of 0 here, I'm going to replace the 0 by the 2, this 2, comma, and then this quarter, I'm going to replace it by 2/5. So it means now I have 2.25 cups of milk. Now I need to convert this 2.25 cups of milk to what? To milliliters. So I'm going to say, all right, 2.25 cups will give me how many milliliters? I don't know, but do I have the conversion factor? Yes, it is given to me. They say that 1 cup is equals to 250 milliliters. And then from here, we can substitute. 1 multiplied by that, it is still the question mark, equals to 2.25 multiplied by 250, guys. I hope you are working it out there. I'm getting 562.5 milliliters. So if we do our conversions, the answer would be 562.5 milliliters. 1.1.2, convert 4.3 ounces of butter to grams. If 1 ounce is equivalent to 30 grams. So I'm going to write it down again to say, okay, 4.3 ounce must give me how many grams? I don't know. But what do I know? I know that 1 ounce is equivalent to 30 grams. And then from here, like the previous answer, I'm going to cross multiply. And then 1 multiplied by that question mark, it will be the question mark. And then it will be 4.3 multiplied by 30, which is going to be 4.3 multiplied by 30. The answer would be 129. Look here, the ounce and the ounce, they cancel. So here, because it was grams, it means the answer would be 129 grams. I hope you guys are also getting the same answer there, because I might make some errors as I'm doing my calculations. So I'm expecting you guys to also be busy over there with your calculators so that you are able to track if I'm giving you the correct answers or not. 1.1.3, if 4 tablespoons of syrup are used in the waffle recipe, how many tablespoons? 4 tablespoons of syrup are used in the waffle recipe. Calculate how many milliliters were used if 1 tablespoon is equals to 15 milliliters. So I'm going to write down there that, okay, 4 tablespoons will give me how many milliliters? I don't know. But what do I know? I know that 1 tablespoon will definitely give me 15 milliliters. And then from here on, again, I am going to cross multiply. And then I'm going to say 1 multiplied by the question mark is still my question mark. And then there will be 4. The tablespoon and the tablespoon, they cancel. So it is 4 multiplied by 15 milliliters, which is equals to 60 milliliters. I hope you guys are getting the same answer that side. It is 60 milliliters. 1.1.4, we must convert 450 degrees Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius using the following formula. This question, guys, it will be in the exam on Monday. And then in this case, we must calculate we must convert to degrees Celsius. Sometimes they can give you the degrees Celsius and they want you to calculate the degrees Fahrenheit. But nevertheless, whatever one they want you to calculate, the formula will always be provided. You don't have to memorize the formula. It will always be given to you. So now let us rewrite the formula. It is degrees Celsius equals to, where we see F, we are going to write what? We're going to write 450. So it will be 450 minus 320 divided by 1, 1,8. And then we'll say degrees Celsius equals to, and then I'm going to take my calculator and say 450 minus 320. I'm getting 130, and then that divide by 1,8 divide by 1,8, and then the answer is 72,22. Now the trick about this question is that they can ask you to give your answer to the nearest 10, or they can say give your answer to the nearest 100. If they want the answer to the nearest 10, it means that the answer must be in multiples of 10. What are the multiples of 10? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. You get it from 0, actually 0, 10. Those are the multiples of 10. And then if they say to the nearest 100, it means your answer again here, it must be in multiples of 100. So your answer, it must be 100, 200, 300, 400. There can't be anything in between. So let's say here the instruction was saying that we must give the answer to the nearest 10. When you give your answer to the nearest 10, the 72, you ask yourself, 72, is it nearer to 70 or to 80? It is actually nearer to what? To 70. Then we can say the answer is 70 degrees Celsius. So go and revise this, and then note that sometimes they can give you this formula, the degrees Celsius formula as it is, but they want you to calculate the degrees Fahrenheit. So you must know how to manipulate the formula and make one item a subject of the formula. Now, this question, they say John rides his bike to the library, which is 15 kilometers away, to discuss the recipe with his friend. He leaves home at 7:30 and reaches the library at 9:30. Calculate the speed in kilometers per hour at which he was riding. So what we need to calculate here, we need to calculate what? We need to calculate speed. We don't have speed. But what do we have? Do we have the distance? Yes, we do have the distance. It is what? It is 15 kilometers. What about time? Do we have time? We don't actually have time. We only know what time he left and what time he arrives. So we can use that information to help us find the exact time that he spent on the road. So for us to find the time that is spent on the road, it means we'll have to find the difference. To find the difference, we'll use the time of arrival, 9:30, minus what? Minus 7:30. So I can do this on my fingers from 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, which is 2 hours. If you don't know how to do it like this, you can use your calculator. Ask your teachers there with you to show you how to calculate time using your calculator, because there is a shorter way and easier way of calculating time using your calculator. So 9:30 to 7:30, it is actually 2 hours. So we have the distance, we have the time. Now we are looking for what? We are looking for speed. But we've got one more problem. What is that problem? The formula that is given to us, it is not a speed formula, but rather we are given a time formula. So you are going to come across situations like this in the exam, whereby they want you to calculate time, but they give you the formula for speed. Whereby they want you to calculate distance, but they give you the formula for time. So to help you, to make things easier for yourself, we use the DSTV method. In Meslit, we say it is the DIN, S, T, and then it is the V. So DST TV method. Then you close like this. When it's closed like this line here, it means what? It means divide. And then this line in between here, it actually means multiplication. How does it work? It means if you are looking for speed, you'll say speed equals to, what is on top of speed then? On top of speed there is distance, and then underneath distance, what do we have then? We have time. Meaning if you calculate speed would be distance over time. And then if you want time, you will say, okay, time equals to, what is on top of t? It is distance. And then remember I said this line means what? Division. And what is below the distance? It is what it is? It is speed. Meaning that the formula for time would be distance over speed. And then lastly, if you want your distance, the distance is here. There's nothing on top of the distance. So you just say equals to, everything is just at the bottom. So I will write everything here S and T. But remember, between S and T, I said, what does this line mean? It means multiply. So meaning that if you want the distance, it will be speed multiplied by the time. So make sure that you remember this. You know how to use the triangle, because you will be required to use this information on Monday as you write your paper 2. Now going back to our question, we must calculate speed, meaning out of all the three formulas, 1, 2, and 3, the relevant formula to use, it is formula number 3, because we are looking for speed. Now we are going to substitute to say speed equals to, the distance is how much? Is 15 kilometers. Over the time, what is our time? It is 2 hours. So speed equals to, you put this in your calculator, it is 7 kilometers per hour. That is how we calculate our speed. Martin, who is a grade 12 learner, helps at the local community center soup kitchen during weekends and holidays. A soup kitchen is a community outreach program to feed the hungry and underprivileged people in the community. The soup pots are cylindrical in shape as shown in the picture and the diagram. As you can see, the shape of the soup pot is a cylinder. Now, 1.3.1, explain the term capacity in the given context. Remember in MESLIT, when you talk about context, we talk about the scenario that is given. We talk about the story that is given to us. So what story are we talking about here? We are talking about a pot and a soup. And what is capacity? If I come to you now and say the capacity to your school while you are writing exams, and I say the capacity of this classroom is 40 learners. What do I mean? I mean that this class can only hold or accommodate 40 learners. That is what I mean by capacity. So in this context of ours, we are talking about soup. So if you were to explain capacity in this context, you will say capacity in this context, it is the amount of soup that the pot can hold. I hope it makes sense. The amount of soup that the pot can hold. That is the capacity of the pot. So in this case, when you explain according to the given context, guys, you don't just explain. If you just explain broadly, even if your definition is correct, but if it is not according to the context, then you've missed the plot. You don't get any marks. So when you explain according to the context. If the question says explain according to the context. Convert the capacity of the pot to cubic centimeters. Remember, we are given the capacity of the pot here. They say it is 20 liters, meaning that this pot can hold a total of 20 liters of soup. So they want us to convert this 20 liters to what? To cubic centimeters. So you will say, okay, I must convert 20 liters to what? I don't know. But what do I know? I know that 1 liter is equivalent to 1,000 centimeters cubed. So the liter, I'm sorry about this, and the liter are gonna cancel. And then we'll cross multiply 1 multiplied by the question mark. It is the question mark then 20 multiplied by 1,000, it will be 20,000 centimeters cubed. That is your answer. So the capacity of this pot in cubic centimeters, it is 20,000 cubic centimeters. 1.3.3, determine the inner radius of the pot. Remember, we are given the diameter. This is the diameter. And they told us that the diameter is 300 millimeters. So since we are given the diameter as 300 millimeters, we know that if we have the diameter, for us to get for us to find the radius, we must take the diameter and divide it by 2. So in this case, what is our diameter? Our diameter is 300 millimeters. So to find the radius, we'll divide by 2, which will give us 150 millimeters. Guys, this question will be in the exam. This is a 2 marks question for free. Whether they want you to find the diameter or they want you to find the radius, it is definitely a free mark. I hope all of us are going to capitalize on this and collect these marks. 1.3.4, calculate the height of the soup pot in centimeters and give your answer to 2 decimal places. And then you may use the formula volume equals to 3.142 multiplied by radius squared multiplied by the height. Like I told you that the formula will always be provided. So what we are going to do here, they want us to calculate the height. Do we have the volume? Yes. Remember in the previous slide, we calculated capacity. And then this capacity, we calculated it to cubic centimeters. And how much was it in cubic centimeters? It was 20,000 cubic centimeters. That was the capacity of the pot, which is the same as volume in this case. And then with the radius, we also calculated radius in the last slide. Our diameter was 300, and then we agreed that our radius would be 150 millimeters. But here we have a problem. Before we can even substitute into the formula, the units are not the same. This one is given in cubic centimeters, but then this one is given in millimeters. So something must give there. Either we convert those cubic centimeters to cubic millimeters, or we convert the millimeters to centimeters. So what will guide us? They want the height of the pot in what? In centimeters. So I think it would be the wise or the smart thing to convert these millimeters and convert them to centimeters. Again, how do we convert from millimeters to centimeters? Remember, King Henry died miserable death called measles. So from millimeter to centimeter, I'm moving from a small unit to a bigger unit. Therefore, I am going to divide. And what is the conversion factor between millimeters and centimeters? It is a 10. Guys, if you still don't know, you must go and revise this over the weekend, because this you are expected to know by heart. So 150 divided by 10, the answer that I'm getting is 15 centimeters. That is the value of the radius. So from then, we can substitute into the formula. Where we see volume, we are going to write the 20,000. It is the 20,000 centimeters cubed equals to 3,142 multiplied by, do we have the radius? Yes, the radius, it is 15 centimeters, but it must be squared multiplied by the height. And then from here, guys, we do the math. It is 20,000 centimeters cubed equals to, I'm going to multiply the numbers to say 3.142 multiplied by the 15. Remember, the 15 must be squared. So you say multiply by 15 squared. Okay, let me just rewrite this to say this is 3,142 times 15 squared, guys. 15 squared, it is 225. It is not 15 times 2, it is 15 times 15. Multiply by the height. And then I'm going to bring down the 20,000 centimeters cubed equals to, then I multiply this. 225 multiplied by 3.142, the answer would be 706.95. I forgot this one because the centimeters are squared. It is centimeters squared, so this is still centimeters squared multiplied by the height. So we want the value of height, but the only thing that is disturbing us, it is that 706 there. So for us to get the value of h, we must get rid of this 706. So how do we get rid of 706? We are going to divide by what? By 706.95 centimeter squared. And what we do this side, we are also going to do this side to say 706.95 centimeters squared, so that this and that they can cancel. You are left with h this side, and in this case we are going to say 20,000 divided by the 706. The answer is 28.29 centimeters. That is our value of h. It is now centimeters because centimeters cubed divided by centimeters squared, it gives us only a centimeter. So this is the value of h. Quite a bit complicated and long, I know, but yeah, this is something that you must expect on Monday. So should you come across something like this, don't be surprised. 1.4, Don's Flame Lovers Chow is selling the most delicious butter bean curry meals at the restaurant. The available options are shown below, and one of the options is omitted. So the main thing they are selling a butter bean curry. So their main ingredients, it is either meat or chicken. So it depends on the person. If you choose the chicken flavor, the chicken can either be served with rice or with what? With roti. If you choose the meat flavor, the meat can also be served with rice or with, we don't know. It is an unknown value there. And then, out of all the options, if you choose rice or something else, okay, let me come this side. If you choose rice or the roti, you can either have it with coffee, with soda, or if you are having rice, it can be rice and coffee, with coffee and soda. If you are having roti, it can be with coffee and soda. And here at the end, you've got the outcomes. Remember, these are the outcomes. So it is C, it is B, C, R, C, meaning that B is for the butter bean curry with chicken, with rice and coffee. That is the first option. And then the second option, it can be a butter bean curry with chicken, with rice and soda. I hope you guys are following. And then the third option here, it's still butter bean curry, choosing the chicken flavor with a roti, and then lastly with what? With coffee. Excuse the small t in between. It is what it is. It is coffee. And then this last option, it is when you still choose the butter bean with chicken, with roti, and now with what? With soda. Now looking at all these options, the total outcomes that we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So all in all, you are working with 8 outcomes. This is very, very important. Remember, we haven't answered any questions. We are still analyzing the information that is given to us. So 1.4.1, write down the name of the representation used below to illustrate all the meal options. This is a representation. It is showing the different meal options. So what do we call this representation? What do you call this representation? I would like for you guys to send through your answers, or you can even shout the answers to your teachers to show that you are ready for Monday. Well, the name of this representation, it is a tree diagram. We call it a tree diagram. 1.4.2, you must write down the name of the option that is omitted. What is the omitted option? This is the omitted option. Remember, it is the butter bean curry with meat, and if you are taking the meat, You can either have it with rice or what? It is right or roti. So the option that is omitted there, it is actually a roti. 1.4.3, you must write down as a fraction the probability of randomly ordering a butter bean curry meal with chicken and a soda at the restaurant. Remember, okay, now we want a butter bean curry with what? With chicken and what? And soda. And where is, so this is the chicken meal. Where is soda? This is soda, and there is another soda. So out of how many outcomes? Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many options? How many outcomes have a chicken with soda? It is 1. It is 2. So the probability will be 2 options of soda out of how many options in total? Out of 8 options. Guys, this is probability. Once you write it down as a fraction, you punch it in your calculator. You say 2 divided by 8, and then you get 1/4. So when you write your probability, it must always be simplified. They will not tell you to simplify it. You must know that I need to simplify my probability when it is given as a fraction. A map of the South African coastline and the interior parts of the country, including some neighboring countries, is shown alongside. So they say a map showing the coastline. The coastline is those areas that are next to the coast. The coast is the sea. Like people are saying, I'm going to the beach. Places like your Durban, your Cape Town, they are near the coastline. And then the oceans that we see there, we see the Indian Ocean, we see the Atlantic Ocean. So this is quite a very busy map. I can also see that this map has a scale, and the type of scale that is given here, it is what it is. It is a bar scale. And then what else am I seeing? I'm seeing the compass direction there, meaning that pointing up is what is north. And then I see the mountains here. This, what is the name of the mountain? It is the Drakensberg mountain. So there are also rivers. There is Limpopo River there. There is Orange River. Yeah, so it is quite a very, very busy map. Let's look at the question then. The question says, state 2 rivers that appear on the map. I've already mentioned the issue of rivers. It is the Limpopo River and the Orange River is given. 1.5.2, name the ocean on the eastern side of South Africa. Now they're saying eastern. They want you to use your compass direction. So you will draw your compass direction in the center of South Africa. They say up there is what is north. And you know that you must never, ever smoke weed. Now, what was the question? Name the ocean that is on the eastern side of South Africa. So it means we must look at this part. This is the eastern part. So the only ocean that I see there, it is the Indian Ocean. Name the island that is closest to Cape Town. Where is our Cape Town? Here is our Cape Town. So what is the island that is closest to Cape Town? Here is an island. Because I'm at Cape Town, I see an island. Guys, you don't go and mention an island that you see there. They said the one that is closest to Cape Town. So the island that is closest to Cape Town is what is Robben Island. Identify the mountain range on the map. So looking at the map here, there's only one there's only one mountain that I'm seeing there, which is the Drakensberg. Remember, a berg is a mountain. So the Drakensberg mountain, that is the only mountain that I'm seeing on the map here. So your answer would be the Drakensberg. State one advantage of using the scale that is shown on the map. What type of scale are we having? We have a bar scale. Now, listen, girls and boys. When you talk about a bar scale, one of the advantages when working with a bar scale is that with a bar scale, when a map or a plan is enlarged, the bar scale also gets enlarged. So that is the advantage of using a bar scale. If a map or a plan is reduced, the bar scale also gets reduced. So the bar scale, whether the map is enlarged or not, the bar scale will still remain accurate. That is the advantage of working with the bar scale. Whereas a number scale, and that is the disadvantage of working with a number scale, is that with the number scale, if a map is enlarged or it is reduced, then the number scale becomes inaccurate. We can no longer work with that particular number scale because it is no longer accurate to that map that we are supposed to be working with. So to answer this question for the last time, the advantage of working with a bar scale is that even when a map is reduced or enlarged, the bar scale will still remain accurate. That is how you answer this question. Question 2, these are the exact questions that we can expect under question 2. Mr. and Mrs. Sear are looking forward to buying their first family home. They find the following house plan that will suit their needs. So here is a house plan, and with this particular house plan, you can see that the compass direction is pointing down and they're saying this is north. You don't say that, this is a mistake, north must face up. No. If they say this is north, then this is the north that you will be working with. What you must just remember is that you must never, ever smoke weed. Meaning that if this is your north, then this is your east, this is your south, and this is your west. So when you look at your plan, you must be able to identify the doors, or they even give you the key here. They were nice. That this is the door, this is the door, door. And where's another door? Yeah, those are all the doors that are provided on this plan. And this is the window, because they can ask you how many windows does this house have. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 windows. And then the other rooms are labeled so we can see it is very clear. 2.1.1, you must write down the number of interior doors and the number of exterior doors the house has. So according to my understanding, I am going to take the exterior doors as the doors that are taking us to the outside. So the doors that are the interior doors would be your 1, 2, 3 interior doors. So I'm going to say these 3 interior doors. And the doors that are allowing us to go outside would be 1 and 2. Then I will say there is 2 exterior doors. 2.1.2, complete the statement by providing the correct direction. As you enter the house through the door at the lounge. Where is the lounge? This is the lounge. It means when you are entering, where are you? You are here. So as you enter the house through the door entering the house, you must turn and walk towards the dining room. There is the dining room. So I want you to put yourself in that position. So it means where must you turn? You must actually turn where? You must turn left. So the correct answer for this question was either right or left. So you need to put yourself in that position that you are entering, and don't mess your left and your right. And then when it comes to floor plans will always go hand in hand with your elevation plans. So you must be able to match the rooms on the floor plan with the rooms on the elevation plans. Like in this example, identify the following elevation plan of the house. So this is the elevation. Remember I said when I started that the elevation, it shows the outside part of a house. This is an elevation. As we can see, it shows only the outside. Whereas a floor plan, it shows the top view of the house without the roof. As we can see here, this is your floor plan. It shows you the internal part of the house without the roof. So when you match these two diagrams, it means we are looking at this side, the side that has 3 windows on it. Let's start here. How many windows are this side? 1. So this is not the side. Looking at this, how many windows are this side? There's 1. This is not the side. How many windows are this side? There's 1, 2, there is 3. Even the way that they are positioned. The 3 windows are closer to each other and then there's that long empty space without a window, which is this space without a window. So what part of elevation is this? Because there is a compass facing this side, it means the elevation is this side, which is the north part of the house. So this type of elevation, we call it the north elevation, because they gave us a compass direction that is guiding us that this side is on the northern side of the house. That's why we're saying this is the north elevation. Another question that they like with regards to the floor plan and elevation, they can ask you which rooms will be warmer in winter for this house. So in the context of Mathslit, when we answer that question, we are saying that the rooms that will be warm are the rooms that are facing north. So if you were to decide on this floor plan that which rooms would be warm in the winter, it will be the lounge and the dining room. Or they can even phrase it to say which room would it be best for you to spend the day on if it was winter. Obviously, if it's winter, you are looking for a room that is warmer. So you'll focus on the rooms that are facing north, which is your lounge and your dining room. The TIE must decide on the floor covering of the 2 bedrooms and a short passage leading from the door to bedroom 1. The total area to be covered is 49 square meters. Mr. TIE suggests they use the laminated flooring. Mr. TIE says that it will be cheaper to tile the same area. So they want to do the floor. So when they're doing their floor, they've got 2 options. The first option, they can put down tiles. The second option, they can put a laminated floor or laminated flooring. So the costs that are involved for both the floor coverings are given below. For laminated flooring, the cost is 245 per square meter for all the material that will be used. And then for labor, remember labor, it is someone that's going to do the job. That person is also charging. And how much are they charging? They're charging 50 rand per square meter, meaning that the bigger the place that they will laminate, the more money the TS will have to pay. The second option, which is the option of tiling, the cost of the tiles, it is 95 rand 99 per square meter. And then the grout is that special cement that they are using for tiles. 1 5 kg bag for every 13 square meter. So it means the grout, when they buy it, it only comes in 5 kilograms. And 1 5 kilogram can cover 13 square meters. The cost of 1 5 kg bag is 60 rand. So when they buy 1 5 kg, it costs them 60 rands. They will need 11 bags. Each bag is 20 kilograms. They will need 11 bags of tile cement. That is still another cement, which will cost 65 rand per bag. So the cement costs 65 rand per bag, and they will need 11 of those. And then the labor will cost 2,500 for the whole job. So when it comes to tiling, the person that's going to do the job is going to charge them a clean 2,500 rand for the entire job. So when you come across a question like this, you highlight all the important information that is given to you. So 2.2.1, you must determine the cost for laminating a 49 square meter area. With laminating, we are focusing on this section. So calculate the cost of laminating a 49 square meters area. I am going to allow you guys to try and do this one on your own. I will give you exactly 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, I will be back, and then you can compare your solution with my solution. And remember, our WhatsApp lines are open, so you are more than welcome to send in your solutions. I'll be so happy to read out your solutions and then to let you know whether you are on the right track or if you still need some more assistance. I'll be back shortly. Welcome back. I'm sure you have your answers now. Okay, let's do it together. Then you can mark for yourself and see whether you are on the right track or not. Remember, they are going to laminate the floor area of 49 square meters. And then we want to know the lamination cost. So the cost is 245 rand per square meter. So let us do the cost now. The cost will be 245. They say per square meter. Per square meter means for 1 square meter. But how many square meters are we covering here? We are covering 49 square meters. So you punch this on your calculator. The answer that I'm getting there, I'm getting 12,005 rand. But remember, this is just the cost. We must also do the calculations for labor. So for labor, how much is our person charging us? This person is charging us 50 rand per square meter. Per square meter, again, it means for 1 square meter. And how many square meters are we having here? We have 49 square meters. So this is multiplied by 49 meter squared. And then you've already done this on your calculator. The labor, it is 2,450. So we have the cost for the lamination. We have the cost for labor. Are we done? No, we want the total. So the total will be equals to 12,005 rand plus the 2,450 for labor. And then you add the two. I got 14,455 rands. Guys, I hope you got the same answer. If you got this one correct, you are definitely ready for Monday's paper. 2.2.2, calculate the number of bags of grout they need to buy to tile an area of 49 square meters. Remember, their grout, a 1 5 kg bag, it can cover 13 square meters. So we will say that, okay, 5 kilogram, which is one bag, by the way, it can cover 13 meter squared. Actually, I think to make it easier, let me just, because I want the number of bags, let me say one bag can cover how many square meters? 13 meter squared. And then what is the square area that we want to cover? We want to cover 49 meter squared. So I want to know how many bags must I buy. So I'm going to cross multiply. When I cross multiply, can I just say bags here? I don't know. So when you cross multiply, it means it is bags multiplied by 13 meter squared. And then 1 multiplied by 49, it will be 1 multiplied by 49. I will just say 1 multiplied by 49. And this will be equals to, so I need, I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm sorry about that. This must be equals to, I said we are cross multiplying, 1 multiplied by, bags multiplied by 13, and then this side we have 1 multiplied by 49 meters squared, which is equals to 49 meter squared. Let me write it neatly this side to say bags multiplied by 13 meters squared. It is now equals to 49 meter squared. Because I want the number of bags, I will divide by 13 meters squared, so that the 13 and the 13 can cancel. And then this side I will also divide by the 13 meter squared. So the number of bags that I have will be equals to, you will then say 49 divided by 13, it is 3,769. But can we remember here, we want the number of bags. Can we actually have 3,769 number of bags? No, it must be a whole number. And because we are talking about building material here, we will always have to round up. Because if you round down, then the material that you are going to buy will not be enough. Therefore, it means how many bags must we actually buy here? 3.769. We must round it up and make it 4 bags. So the total number of bags that must be bought, it must be 4 bags. So 4 bags of grout must be bought if we are going to tile this area of 49 square meters. Determine the total cost to tile an area of 49 square meters. Remember, the grout bag, they need to buy 4 bags. Let me start by saying grout. I'm sorry about the untidiness. The grout, they need 4 bags. So let's calculate the cost for grout. And then 5 kg bag for every that, and then the cost of 1 5 kg bag, it is 60 rand. But in this case, we want the cost for 4 bags. So we'll say 4 bags multiply by 16, which is equals to, this is where the calculator comes in, it is 240 rand. So that is the cost for grout. And then for tiling, the cost for tiles, they are charging 95 rand 99 cent for 1 square meter. So you will say 95 rand 99 multiplied by how many square meters? 49 square meters. And then we multiply, we say 95, 99 multiplied by 49. The answer is 4,703 and 51 cents. This is the cost for what? For tiles. And then let's see, we've calculated tiles, we've calculated grout, and then we've also calculated the cost of grout here. So they said again they will need 11 bags of tile cement, which costs 65 rand per bag. So now let's calculate for cement. It is 11 bags multiplied by 65 rand. So you punch in your calculator again, 11 multiplied by 65. I am getting 715. 715 rand. So labor will cost 2,500. So labor will be 2,500. Now, if you want the total now, they said total. Remember in Metsley, total means addition. So total and difference means subtract. So the total is, we're going to start with the grout, 240 plus the tile, 4,703 and 51, plus the cement, 715, plus the labor. Labor is very expensive, which is 2,500. Guys, you punch everything as it is on your calculator. The total that I got here, I got 8,158 and 51 cents. So this is the total that you will get when you calculate the total cost of tiling. So if we were to compare between laminating the floor and tiling, remember with laminating, the total cost for laminating was 14,455 rand. Whereas with tiling, the total cost is 8,158 and 51 cents. So if you had to compare to choose which one will be the cheapest, I think it's quite obvious from our calculations that tiling the floor will be the most cheaper. It will be the cheaper option rather than laminating those floors. When moving from one house to the other, the Tsie family packed their belongings in moving boxes as follows. So here is a van. They are going to pack these boxes into this particular van. And then the dimensions of the van. This van, it has a length of 1,690 millimeters. And then it has a width of how much? 1,355 millimeters. And then it also has a height of how much? Of 520 millimeters. So these are the dimensions of the van. And whether they're going to pack in a van, they are going to pack these boxes. And from the instruction from this box, it means these boxes will be packed facing up. You cannot put them any other way. When you pack them, they must be facing up. And this box also has the dimensions 506 millimeters, 451 millimeters, 451 millimeters. And now this is the section of packaging. It means at some point we have to package these boxes in a van. So when you package, the same as with your perimeter area and volume, you need to make sure that before you package your items, your units must be the same. And in this case, the units of the box are in millimeters, and the units of the van are also in millimeters. So I am happy. It means we can proceed with the question. 2.3.1, calculate the number of moving boxes they will be able to load on the back of the backing. So how are we going to pack those boxes? The moving boxes must be packed facing up. Like I said, it means when you pack them, it will be height against the height, and the length of the box across the length of the backing. So when you pack them, the length of the box must be packed against the length of the backing. Therefore, the width of the box will also be packed against the width of the backing. So let us label this is the length, this is the height, and this would be your width. So now let's calculate the number of boxes that will fit. I'm going to start with the height. Across the height, it will be the height of the backing over the height of the box. What is the height of the backing? It is given there. It is 520 millimeters over what is the height of the box? It is 451 millimeters. So we will divide the two. We'll say 520 divided by 451. The answer is 1,152 and something. Guys, we are calculating the number of boxes that can fit. So we cannot have a decimal number of boxes. And this is packaging. When it comes to packaging, if you get a decimal, you are always going to round down. Because if you round up, if you say that you will fit in 2 boxes, then it means you won't be able to close the backy. The backy won't be able to close because the second one will actually overlap. So the best thing to do here, it is to round down, because at the end of the day, you must be able to close the backing. To close in the backing is to protect the boxes. Imagine if it rains, what will happen to those boxes? So the best option here, it is to round down. So how many boxes will fit in across the height? Just one box. And then if we do it across the lengthwise, it will be the length of the baggie over the length of the box. What is the length of the baggie? It is 1,690 millimeters over what is the length of the box? It is 506 millimeters. And then we punch in our calculators. 1690 divided by 506. What is the answer? I'm getting 3,339 and something. Again, it means here across the length, you will only be able to fit in 3 boxes. Yes, you will have some space that is left, but that space will not be enough to pack in the 4th box. So that is why in this case, again, we are going to round down. We're rounding down because the 4th box won't be able to fit in. So how many boxes will fit in? Only 3 boxes. And then let's do it across the width. It would be the width of the box of the baggie against the width of the box. So what is the width of the baggie here? It is 1355 millimeters, and then the width of the box, it is 451 millimeters. Let us punch this in our calculator. It is 1355 divided by 451, and the answer that I'm getting then, it is 3,004. Remember, we cannot have a decimal number of boxes. So again here, we are going to round down, meaning only 3 boxes can fit in. So across the height, there will be 1 box. Across the length, there will be 3 boxes. Across the width, there will also be 3 boxes that can fit in. So if we want the total now, if you want the total number of boxes that can fit, you will take the height, which was 1, multiply by the length, which was 3, multiply by the width, which was 3. So 1 times 3 times 3, a total of 9 boxes can fit inside this van. It's quite lengthy, but this is a very interesting section in paper 2, the section of packaging. So over the weekend, as you are meeting with your teachers for the last revision session, make sure that you go back to your packaging and do some 2-3 activities to remind yourself, because this you can also expect to find in the exam paper that you'll be writing on Monday. And because it's quite a lengthy process, it also carries a lot of marks. So don't be surprised when you find packaging and you find that it is 7 marks, it is 9 marks, sometimes can even be 11 marks. Don't be surprised. It is quite a lengthy section, but also very interesting. Calculate the return petrol cost to transport the boxes from one house to the other if the petrol price was 25 Rand 1997 cents. So this is the question. The question is from what? From the statement that the buggy that they use to move has a petrol consumption of 13 kilometers per liter. What does this mean? That per liter means for 1 liter, with 1 liter, you can travel a distance of 11 kilometers. That's what it means. The distance from their old house to their new one is 55 kilometers. So it means they will travel for a distance of what? Of 55 kilometers. So we want to know how many liters of petrol will they need. So I'm just going to say how many liters. So I'm going to cross multiply to say, okay, liters multiplied by 11 kilometer equals to 1 multiplied by 55 kilometers. So this will be liters multiplied by 11 kilometer equals to 55 kilometers. So I only want liters here. Therefore, I will divide by 11 kilometer, divide by 11 kilometer, so that this and this can cancel. Then I'll have how many liters? The kilometer and the kilometer, they can cancel. And then 55 divided by 11, I have 5 liters. So meaning that for 55 kilometers, we will need only 5 liters of petrol. But remember, they spoke about the return petrol cost. The return, it means 2 trips. You go and then you come back. So with the return, you can either multiply the distance here by 2, or we can just take the number of liters that we have here and multiply them by 2, because now we want what we want the return. So it means for return, they will actually need 10 liters of petrol. But did we answer the question? Okay, they want to calculate the total, the return petrol cost to transport the boxes from one house to the other if the petrol price is 25 Rand 97 cents per liter. So the petrol price, it is 25 Rand 97 for 1 liter. And how many liters do we have? We have 10 liters. So if you want the cost for 10 liters would be 25 Rand 97 multiplied by 10 liters, which will be equals to, you punch it in your calculator, it will be 215. It will be 259 and 70 cents. So this will be the total cost if we consider a return trip, as they are moving items from one house to the other. If they say return, then you know that it means it's a double trip. They're going and they are coming. If they say 3 return trips, it means in total is a total of 6 trips, because return means double. If they say 4 return trips, it means the total of 8 trips. Examples of question 3 that we can expect. Mrs. Jones is a mother who wants to make a dollhouse for her kids for Christmas. She finds a plan for the following dollhouse on the internet. The whole dollhouse is cut out of a plywood board with the dimensions 4 feet by 4 feet. So already if it is 4 feet by 4 feet, it means that is the area of the plywood board. Take note that 1 foot is equivalent to 30.48 centimeters. Remember, this is the imperial unit, and then this one is the metric unit, the one that we use in South Africa. It is the metric unit. So before we go any further, we are expected to define the concept of area. So what is area? Like I told you that you must expect the definitions. I know you had some definitions in paper 1. In paper 2, you'll also have the definitions. If you didn't get them in paper 1, definitely in paper 2 you will get the definition. So make sure that you revise your glossary of terms, because you will be expected to explain the concept. So what is area? In this case, it's just open. They're not saying you must define area according to the given context. It's just a clean explanation of area. So area, we say it is the amount of space that is covered by a 2D shape, because here we are talking about just an area. It is not a surface area. But go back and make sure that you revise, you study what is a volume, what is capacity, what is surface area, what is diameter, what is radius. All those definitions, they can be examined on Monday. 3.1.2, determine the area of the plywood board in square meters. Remember, they gave us the area. I said the dimensions. It means this is the area. Already they gave us the area, but the area is given in what? In feet. So we must convert this area from feet to what? To meters. What do we have? We have the conversion factor, that 1 foot is equivalent to 30.48 centimeters. So what we can do here, we can convert this feet to centimeters, and then from centimeters we can convert to what? To meters. Let's do this. Let's try it. That 1 foot, it is equals to 30.48 centimeters. And then if you want to know how many feet, how many centimeters are there in 4 feet, we can make a question mark, and then let's cross multiply. Then our question mark would be equals to, you take out your calculator, you say 4 multiplied by 30.48, and then it gives us the answer of 121.92. But remember, this is what this is in centimeters, but our question, they want in square meters. So to convert from centimeters to meters, you are converting from a smaller unit to a bigger unit. It is the metric system. You are expected to know that from the heart. So from centimeters to meters, we are dividing. And what is the conversion factor there? It is 100. So 1 to 1 divided by 100, it is 1,2192 meters. Meaning that the area, now the area of this in meters squared, the area would be equals to 1,2192 meters multiplied by 1,2192 meters. And then you take out your calculator, and then I'm getting the answer of, no, I think I made a mistake there. It's 1,2192 multiplied by 1,2192. And then the answer that I'm getting there, I'm getting 1,4864 0.44864 meter squared. What was the question? The answer must be given to 2 decimal places. Rounding, very important. You will be asked to do some rounding, so you make sure that your rounding game is on point. So now let's round this to 2 decimal places. It will be 1 comma. 2 decimal places means after the comma you only want 2 numbers. So you check the third number, it is 6. It is more than 4, meaning that you are going to add 1 there. So it is 4,49 meter squared. This is your area in square meters. Quite lengthy, but guys, this is how it is asked in the exam. It is lengthy, but it is not difficult. It is doable. It is something that you will be able to do if you come across it in the exams on Monday. And then remember another thing, guys, as much as this session is live, even in the evening tonight, you can still watch this again. If maybe there's a part that I explained you didn't understand, you can re-watch it. You can watch it again tomorrow. You can watch it again even on Sunday. Even Monday morning when you wake up, you can still watch it again. So it will still be available until you guys write your paper 2 on Monday. 3.1.3, use the sizes of the dollhouse to calculate the total perimeter of the backboard. Remember what is a perimeter? Perimeter, it is the distance outside a shape. We don't care about the inside. We don't want to know about the inside. It is just the distance outside a shape. So when you want the perimeter for this shape, we'll say perimeter equals to, it will be side 1 plus side 2 plus the width plus the length plus this side. This is also the width. And then let me substitute. What is side 1? Side 1 is 39.79. The units are the same, luckily. I forgot to check them. Plus side 2, it is 39.79. Plus the length is 60.96. Plus the width is 30.48. Plus the last width, which is also 30.48. The height, we don't care, it is inside. We just want the part that is outside. And then you take out your calculator, you punch 39.79 plus 39.79 plus 60.96 plus 30.48 plus 30.48, and then to get the answer of 201.5. And remember, because we're working with centimeters, it means our answer would be in centimeters. Remember, with perimeter, you can't square or cube. The answer is strictly in centimeters or meters or millimeters, in single units. 3.1.4, use the sizes of the dollhouse to calculate the total area of the backboard. You may use the following formula: area of the rectangle and area of the triangle. So we want the total area of this place. So let's start with the bottom part. So this would be area 1 and this would be area number 2. So when you want area 1, which is a rectangle, area 1, it will be length multiplied by width. What is the length? The length is 60.96 centimeters multiplied by the width. What is the width? It is 30.48. And then we take out your calculator to say, okay, 60.96 multiplied by 30.48, it is equals to 1858. 1858,0608, and then this is centimeter squared. That is area 1. And then area 2, remember 2, it is what it is? A triangle. This one, it is 1/2 multiplied by, what is the base? Guys, this is the base. And the base is the same as what? As the length, meaning that our base is what it is, 60.96. 96. 60,96 times the height. This is our height here, and the height is given as what? As 25,576. All these are in centimeters. So we punch in our calculators. Half multiplied by 60,96. Guys, I hope you are also doing it there, so that we are able to check if my calculations are in order. Multiplied by 25,576, and then we get the answer of 779,55648. I'm not rounding, I will round off my final answer. Now, remember, they wanted the total area. Remember, I said in Maths Lit, when you see the word total, then you must know that at the end, I must do what? I must do addition. So we say total, excuse me, total equals to, we add 1,858,0608 plus 779,55648. So what is the answer now? This plus 1858,0608. And then the answer that I'm getting there, I'm getting 2,638. I'm sorry about the mess. It is 2,637,61728. Because this is our final answer, then we can round it to say this is 2,637, let's round it off to 2 decimal places. I think that would be fine. 62, and what will be the unit? It is centimeters squared. That is the answer. I must also include the centimeters squared here. Again, this is another one that is quite lengthy, but as lengthy as it is not difficult. It is something that is doable. If you come across something like this in the exam, you should be able to answer this on Monday. 3.2, Zonke's doctor stated that a person's BMI, which is the body mass index, could be one of the indicators of your health status. Zonke is 1,900 millimeters tall, and her mass is 85 kilograms. The table below shows the BMI weight status table that classifies people based on their BMI. So this table, it is used to diagnose people, or rather to classify whether you are obese, you are underweight, you are overweight. So this section, we are actually talking about the body mass index. If they ask you what is the body mass index, it is the system that determines the health status of a person. And with the BMI, the mass of a person, the mass must always be in kilograms. They can confuse you and give you the mass in grams. You must know immediately that if it's given in grams, then I must convert it to kilograms. And then the height of a person must always be in meters. If they give you the height in centimeters or in millimeters, you must know that is meant to confuse you. So you must stay woke and know that if whatever unit they give you, the height must always be in meters. So here already we have a problem because they gave us the height here, but the height is in millimeters. It means we must convert it to meters, whereas the mass is 85 kilograms and we are happy. So question, calculate Zonke's BMI, and then you must round off the answer to the nearest whole number. Guys, when we calculate BMI, the formula for BMI, it is BMI is equals to, it is mass. I said the mass must be in what? In kilogram over the height. The height must be in what? In meters, but the height must be squared. Okay, let me do it like this. The height must be squared. It must always be in meters. So this is the formula. Make sure that you know this formula. Normally the formula is provided, but they can give you a multiple choice and they want you to choose the correct formula. So it must find you ready. So now let's calculate the BMI. Our mass is in kilograms, we are happy. The problem is the height, the 1,900 millimeters. Let's convert it to meters. So 1,900 millimeters. Here, you are converting from a smaller unit to a bigger unit. So you are dividing because you want to make it, you want to convert it to a larger unit. So we will divide. The conversion factor between millimeters and meters is a what is? It's 1,000. So 1,900 divided by 1,000, it is 1,9 meters. So this is our height. We are happy. Now let's substitute into the formula. We'll say BMI equals to the mass. What is the mass? It is 85 kg over, what is the height? It is 1,9. Remember, the 1,9 must be what it must be? It must be squared. And then the meters will also be squared. And then we punch in the calculator then to say 85 divided by 1.9, but the 1.9 must be, it must be squared. So the answer that I'm getting there, I'm getting 23,547, which can be rounded, They said they wanted the answer in what? To the nearest whole number. When they say the nearest whole number, it means they don't want any decimals. The number must just be a number. No decimals, no babies, nothing. It must just be a number. So here we've got 23,54. So the nearest whole number, 23,5, you ask yourself, is it nearer to 23 or is it nearer to 24? So because of that 5, we will round it up. So it means our BMI, it is actually 24. It is 24 kilograms per meter squared. That is our BMI. So they can take this further, okay, but let me check this in the next question. So this is how you will work around a BMI. Make sure that you revise this again over the weekend. I know your teachers have taught this section, so go and remind yourself so that on Monday you are not caught wondering what is going on. The follow-up question, use your previous answer. Remember the previous answer, the BMI, we just calculated it. It was 24. It was 24 kilograms per meter squared. This was then the BMI. So use your previous answer to determine her weight status. So with the BMI of 24, where is 24? It is here between 18.5 and 24.9. So her weight status, is normal. She is normal. What kind of advice can you give her? None. She's absolutely perfect. If maybe you were calculating and you found that maybe her BMI put her here on overweight, and then they ask you what kind of advice would you give her, you will say that I would advise her to start eating healthy, or you'd advise her to start exercising. Sometimes you calculate a BMI and you find that a person is actually underweight. Now, when a person is underweight, the advice that we can give them is to take nutritional supplements. Others can take multivitamins. Others can even suggest that you must start eating healthy or you must exercise so that you can gain some muscles. So depending whether the person is underweight or overweight or obese, you can be expected to give advice. But the advice that you must give, guys, it must be sound and safe advice. And then, girls, we've got 3.3. Still another example of how the questions can be asked under question 3. To send a 5 kilogram box anywhere in South Africa, it will cost 1,860. The dimensions of a 5 kilogram box are shown below. So we've got a box that has a height, a length, and a width. So we must calculate in cubic millimeters the volume of a 5 kg box. Remember, I told you that when it comes to volume area, surface area, you will always be given the formula. So one, they want it in cubic millimeters. Let's look at our units. We've got millimeters, millimeters, millimeters. We are happy. Ours is just to substitute, to say V equals to, what is the length? The length is 337 millimeters. What is the width? It is 322 millimeters. What is the height? It is 118 millimeters. And then you punch this in your calculator to say 337 multiplied by 322 multiplied by 118, and then it gives me the answer of 19 million. Volume equals to 19,532,520 millimeters cubed. That's it. That is the answer. You've got your full marks. If it's for 2 marks, you've got your 2 marks. If it's 3 marks, you've got your 3 marks. 3.3.2. One of the drivers stated that the surface area of the 5 kg box, it is 5 square meters. You must verify with calculations whether the driver's statement is valid or not. Here, this one is a tough one because now they want the volume, the surface area in square meters, whereas our units is in what? Is in millimeters. So we can do it both ways here. We can first convert our millimeters to meters and then we can calculate. Or we can calculate the surface area in millimeters, and then the answer that we get, we can convert it from millimeter squared to meter squared. But to make it easier, I want us to convert it manually. Let's start with the height to say, okay, the height 118 millimeters. Remember, from millimeters to meters, you are moving from a smaller unit to a bigger unit. Therefore, you are going to divide by 1,000. So when we divide this by 1,000, it is 0.18 meters. That is the height. And then the width, it will be 322 millimeters. Again, we divide by 1,000. The answer would be 0.322 meters. And then we've got the length, which is 337 millimeters divided by 1,000. And then when you do the conversions, you must always show on your answer sheet what you are doing. You don't do it privately. There's no privacy in Mathslit. It's 0.337 meters. So our dimensions are okay. It's in meters. Then we go to the formula. Let's substitute now into the given formula. The total surface area equals to, it is 2 into, what is the length? The length is 0.337 multiplied by the width. How much is the width? It is 0.322 meters. Everything is in meters. And then you close. Guys, you must be very careful. The common mistake that you guys make, instead of when you see a multiplication sign, somehow you turn it into an addition sign. I don't know what is that. So you use the signs that are given to you. And then here it is plus 2 into, we are now in the second bracket. What is the length? Again, the length is not, 337 multiplied by the height. The height is 0.18. Close the bracket, and then there's plus 2, the last bracket. What is the width? It is 0.322 multiplied by, what is the height? The height is 0.18, and then we close the bracket. And then, guys, you can break it down step by step. Because of time that I don't have on my side, I'm gonna punch in everything as it is. I need you guys to do the same there, so that you make sure that I'm not giving you guys poison, that we are all on the right track. Plus 2 into, okay, I'm already making mistakes. That's why I need you guys to also be doing your calculations that side. 0.337 multiplied by 0.18, close the bracket, plus 2 into 0.322 multiplied by 0.18, and then we close the bracket. And then what is the answer? I am getting 0.454268 meter squared. I hope my calculations are correct. I didn't miss anything. So the first one, it is 2 into 0.337 times 0.322 plus 2 into 0.337 times 0.18, yes, plus 2 into 0.322 times 0.18. Yeah, I think I'm correct. So this is the answer that I'm getting. If there's a mistake, guys, you are sitting for the exam on Monday. You should be able to spot the mistake. So this is the area that I'm getting. What was the question? One of the drivers stated that the surface area of the 5 kg box is 5 square meters. So what did we get? We got 0.454 square meters. So verify with calculation whether the driver statement is valid or not. Therefore, the driver statement is invalid because it is not 5 square meters, but rather it is 0.454268 square meters. So guys, you don't say he is lying. You say he is invalid. It's either valid or invalid, but we never saying they are lying. So girls and boys, we have finally come to the end of our mathematical literacy lesson for the academic year of 2023. It has been a very long ride. I hope you've enjoyed each and every single one of our intervention lessons, because we have truly enjoyed sitting here in front of you and sharing the knowledge that we have in the subject with you guys. So remember, for Monday's paper, make sure that you have your pen, your blue pen, your extra blue pen, your calculator, and with paper 2, guys, it is mandatory. It is very important that you bring your ruler to class, because you will definitely be expected to make some measurements. And as you go and revise over the weekend, also practice your scale calculations, whereby you calculate the actual distance from 2 places, or when the actual distance is given, you calculate the map distance between the 2 places. So go and revise that. Other than that, guys, I don't think there's anything that your teachers haven't said to you that will change the game now. There's nothing that I'm gonna say more or further that will change the game. But we wish you all the best and good luck with all your other subjects that are still coming. Until we meet again. Bye-bye.